of KomoriCon?
Oh, okay. Oh man, it's so fun. This is my very first time uh, at Komoricon. I heard so many great things about the con over the years, and I love the Pacific Northwest. I've actually been in this area uh, a couple of times, maybe a decade ago, but they were for an academic conference, and then I never got to, check out the scene. But as soon as I flew in, I just walked around, and just checked out, and then everybody's like so, chill, yeah. And then I was just talking to the attendees, and just hanging out. I really don't get to do that much often. Um, so, I well, I'm in New York, and everything's like so 200 BPM, and here it's like laid back, and it's like so relaxing, and I cannot believe that um, a busy convention like this is so, I don't know. There's not much stress that I can feel. It's like, congrats to you guys. That's pretty cool. And that doggy, he's, yeah, yeah.
So, mind telling those folks at home what is it you do and how long you've been doing it for?
Um, you mean anime wise, or like what I do now? Okay, so anime wise, gosh, it's such a long story, and then you know, uh, my parole officers are interested in like hearing about this, but no, I could actually, I'm just kidding. I was um, a college freshman uh, back in the late 80s, 87 actually, and I discovered the precursor to Reddit, and at the time it was called Usenet, and there was no graphical interface or anything like that, purely text. And I discovered a bunch of groups um, talking about anime and music and whatever, and I had met uh, uh, others who had like equal interests, as like doing stuff like, hey, like why don't we, you know uh, distribute um, like homemade subtitled anime from X generation of VHS or Betamax, because actually a lot of kids were doing that. Um, I guess if I were to render a digestible answer to that question, would take me a long time to kind of process, because there's a lot of things that happened, but the most important parts of that would involve um, meeting my future collaborators on Usenet, which was the precursor to the Reddit type of environment online. And I had met a guy named Robert Woodhead, who had um, whose claim to fame was having authored an Apple II video game called Wizardry, and he was like a billionaire or something, by the time he was five or something. You have an absolute business genius, and he was saying things like, you know uh, we're interested in subtitling anime, you know uh, for real, with proper licenses and all that stuff, and I was like, are you serious? Serious? He's like, us kids are doing that, just for the fun of it, count me in.
It sounds like a fun thing because
Uh,
you know a lot of people might especially when they're watching, non-English anime, having the subtitles is always nice to have.
what was your first anime experience?
My first, my first anime experience was Gundam, the original Gundam from like the '90s, and then Dragon Ball Z too.
Original Gundam came out in '79.
That's
Uh, I'm correcting you on
oh,
that
well, I mean,
because it's very important.
I watched the one that came out in the '90s on Toonami back then.
Okay, were you in like middle school?
I was 5 years old.
5,
I know.
and your parents let you watch Gundam?
My aunt was watching Toonami one day, and
Yeah.
she's just like, she let me watch it with her.
Wow,
Um,
broken family.
so another question: what kind of advice would you want to give to someone who wants to get into working on anime?
Don't. No. I'm kidding. No, you know what? The anime business has changed a lot since when I first started, and when I was a part of that, in the late '80s and '90s and uh, most of 2000s, half of 2000s, you know, even then, the whole industry was going through this crazy metamorphosis from having been a bunch of people who were just doing that for the fun of it. Yeah, paying off the licensors and paying for the legal costs. Yeah, that was part of it. But at the time though, it's like we were just really doing that for the fun of it and for the love of it. um I Speaking for myself, I just wanted to be a scientist, so I stayed in the academia for a long time, and this anime thing was just something on the side. um I was doing a lot of research projects at the University of Chicago, and uh, during my off time, I would be working on anime, and on weekends, I would be playing music, you know, and so I had some serious fun at the time. But yeah, first several shows that we worked on, they never generated any money. I remember, I think my first check was something like $100, not 100,000, $100, for an entire year worth of work that we did. And but even then, I was like, damn, I did it. You know,
It must have been a nice sense of accomplishment or
it's
something like that. Must have been, from people just randomly doing it for fun to actually doing it for like these big name series.
well, the first show that we worked on was this little dinky OVA called Maddox 01. It was like a 45-minute, one-off video, um, and I can't remember if it had any sequels. I don't think it did, but the it had most of the team behind shows like Bubblegum Crisis and Appleseed that came like many years later. Um, but those guys, oh my gosh, those were some serious animators, man. Um, I got to meet them like several years after that, um, but super hardcore, and they were into like everything, everything in arts, and I just genuinely admired their passion, and they had like such indescribable ethic, like work ethic rather, um, that I kind of try to emulate, because you need like so much like patience and obviously work ethic in trying to do these things, especially for an industry that was like rather nascent and also didn't generate that much money at the time, right? Even now, yeah, I mean, you could argue that the industry had transformed itself to this level where you're streaming, you're able to stream a show to gazillions of people, and you have that much colossal fan base. But who's actually making money from that? Only certain people at the top,
Like
you
the
know
IRS or more the ones making,
not the ones at the.
the ones who are working their butts off.
And also,
Like you, for example, you're working your butt off for sure.
I mean, I'll probably make more money cleaning their buildings, you know but anyway, but I do so many different things, so you kind of have to these days.
I think that should do it again. Shin, thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank
That was
you.
easy.
Oh yeah, no. So I'm here with Kohei Hattori, day 2, again on a rainy day. How have we enjoyed the con so far, Kohei?
Last night, Hi, どうもこんにちは、浩平です。KumoriCon 2025. Yeah, I had a blast at the rave party last night.
I saw you just hyping everyone up.
Yeah, that was amazing. The audience got the, amazing energy.
So mind telling the folks at home what is it you do and how long you've been doing it for?
So, as a DJ, I would say I started to start doing this since 2017. But before I was playing music as a singer, so I was singing R&B, hip hop. Yeah, but somehow maybe like Japanese our festivals or anime conventions. Like I felt like maybe better for me. It's not really my privilege, but as Japanese, it's easy to get into those community. So yeah, that's how I started.
So you said you started out. Where did you if you want to take us back, what made you wanted to get into music? Like, were you a kid, teenager years? Like, what just made you like this is something you wanted to do?
Definitely, when I was little, my mom made me play violin, piano, and also I got into American music. So when I was little, I started listening to Michael Jackson, American rock music from '90s, yeah, and yeah, like to me, music is very, I don't know, like so close. It's part of my life. Definitely, music is my part of my life. It's like a soundtrack of my life. Yeah.
So then you became. What year did you become a DJ? And what's that been like? Just doing the whole DJ thing for events, conventions, stuff like that. Like, has it been easy for you doing the DJ thing and everything?
I think it's not easy to be our great DJ, cause nowadays anybody could be DJ. It's easy to download the music. If you all you gotta do is buy in a DJ controller. They also got the small one, which is very reasonable. Yeah. But like I said, anybody could be DJ, could be a DJ. But it's hard to be a good DJ or great DJ, cause first of all, you gotta know the songs, you gotta know what they like. You know what I mean. You need to read the room. Even if you're playing like popular songs, sometimes it doesn't work. So at the time, you have to find out what they like.
I mean, like for example, last night you were playing Macarena, and everyone was just going on.
Yeah. And then after Macarena, I stopped playing American rock music. They were really just crazy, singing along, Yeah.
So did you start out here in the States first, or where did you start when you started your DJ and your music and everything?
Um, as a singer, yeah, yeah. I've been doing this for a long time. Yeah, as a DJ, like I said, start playing music as a DJ 2017. So, but my style is not just playing music. I talk as an MC. Sometimes I sing. So I feel like my style is kind of unique. Yeah, yeah.
So, what kind of impact has this had on you altogether? You know, starting out like as a kid, your mom getting into like the violin, the fancy music, to like go into what you're doing now. Like, what kind of like huge impact has that had on you?
Huge impact. I got impact, you know. I got impact by like so many different artists or performers or entertainers. I do love hip hop. I do love reggae music. If you think about reggae music, okay, reggae music they do reggae sound like sound clash, which is like a DJ battle. So those like DJs are making like customized like song called dub plate. So they are asking like actual artists to sing their own custom. So they change the lyrics. Those DJs. So whenever they play like those customized like music like songs at the event, like people are like, wow, you got this dub plate, you got this dub plate. So yeah. I got inspired by like different type of music or musicians or artists. So yeah, so it's hard to say like who really gave me like a huge impact. But yeah, so definitely like I got inspired by reggae music, reggae culture, hip hop culture, rock music culture. I do love punk music, emo music. So yeah, everything.
Two more questions. Do you remember what it was like for your first big event? You know, doing your music and style and everything. What was that like going into something like that?
I think that was not really a concert, but when I was singing, I joined so many competitions, and that was a 26. Yeah, it was not DJ, like singing competition. Yes, yeah. So that was 2015 or 16. Uh, I uh, I passed the audition for, it was gospel music like competition. Yeah, it's the biggest, actually. It was the biggest gospel contest, the competition in the U.S. called McDonald's or Gospel Fest. So I got the I passed the audition out of 20,000, yeah, people, yeah, singers. Yeah, so I sang in front of 20,000 audience. I think that could be the biggest like audience, like, yeah, I perform, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it was happening at the Prudential Center in Jersey, which is like a stadium, big stadium. Those are big artists, Justin Bieber, Chris Brown, Rihanna. They have performed there too. Yeah, it was not my show, but yeah, that was I think the biggest crowd I ever had.
What was your first like event that you attended to do your DJ?
First one, what was the first one? Yeah, it should be 2017. Maybe it could be the Japanese festival in Houston Japanese festival. Yeah. Mm, mm. Anime convention. Which one? Maybe San Japan and where was it? San Antonio somewhere. Yeah, somewhere in Texas. Yeah, I think San Antonio. Yeah, San Japan.
And last question: what kind of advice would you want to give to someone who wants to get into this? You know, into what you like, the music, the DJ stuff like that? Because I know everyone, like you said, can easily buy one on Amazon, stuff like that. But to really get their own groove, what kind of advice would you like to give?
I think most important things that you love it, and most important things like that you are really enjoying or not. Yeah. And but no matter who you are, you need to make money. So if you're not making money from your music or what you love, sometimes people say, "Oh, that's hobby," you know. But to me, I understand it's not easy to make money from what you like, but if you're really focusing on what you're doing and if you're really passionate, I think, also if you can find a way to be like super unique, it's hard to be artist because a lot of people want to be artists, you know but if you can find a way, like, or if you can be super unique, I think you are able to make money and you are able to be somebody.
great fantasy. Like you
Mm.
also gotta enjoy it at the same time.
Mm-mm. And yeah, but also you need to make huge efforts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that should do it again. Kohei, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the con. So I'm here with none like Joshua. We just got done with Kohei's interview. Here at KimuraCon, how have you enjoyed the con so far? And what just was it? Have this your first time in Oregon, or have you been to Oregon before?
This is my second time in Oregon, actually. I came here for a couple hours one time in 2018. Played a show at a venue called the Elbow Room, and then I believe it was in downtown. And then we immediately left and wasted no time just getting onto the tour. So I think like we just went down to California and like San Diego or something like that. So yeah, we just went straight like to driving right overnight. So I didn't get to explore anything. I didn't get to see anything cool. Oh yeah, no, I definitely got to explore last night in the middle of the night downtown, and yeah, that was definitely entertaining. We can talk about that later if you want, but yeah, definitely saw some real culture down there, especially on Halloween night. I was like, yeah, there's not enough people dressed up as real cops around here, so. But otherwise, it was pretty cool. The sense of danger made a real thrill, so it was really cool.
So, how long have you been doing this for, and what made you want to get into music and everything? Like, what decided this is like one day this is something you really wanted to get into and just enjoy doing?
It was actually by accident. I was just really into music when my like late high school, early college years, and I really wanted to get into rapping because I just liked rap music and hip hop and electronic music, and I wasn't sure how to be like a real rapper. I didn't know how to like be cool, and so I found myself rapping about a lot of the things that I was like learning in college, like philosophy and religion and economics and politics and lame stuff like that. And then I found myself writing a lot of like fictional stuff. Like I was rapping about like time travel and ninjas and robots and dystopias. So I didn't know that was like a nerdy thing. I was just like, I'm just writing about what I like. Like I didn't really consider myself to be nerdy until I guess everyone else told me I was. So, because it's like when you're in college, you're just amongst a bunch of like intelligentsia, where it's like everyone's just a nerd, but they're not aware they are. Yeah, exactly. Like they're not self-aware. They're just like they're.
You're a nerd. You think, oh, it's book science. No,
Yeah, exactly. Like
anime, conventions.
it was all academia nerds. You know what I mean? But I was in music business school at the time, and so I just really wanted to get into like making beats and like rapping about whatever I liked. And I was getting really into the EDM scene when like dubstep was popping off. Yeah, you remember the dubstep wave?
I got like I think popular like definitely mid 2000s.
Oh yeah,
Like
exactly.
2010s.
So I was really into dubstep at the time, and so it was just starting to pop off, and like all the college kids were getting into it, and the rave scene and everything. It was like we were late to the rave scene. Europe had been on it for like 20 something years, and we just finally, yeah, exactly. Not even. So it's like we were just late to the game, and I was taking these like popular dubstep tracks and putting my own lyrics to them, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, dubstep rap, that's crazy!" Like nobody thought that was even possible. But there's like an art to it. Like there's parts where you're supposed to rap and not rap. So that was the challenge, but I really liked the electronic, robotic feel to it, that I was like ended up just writing about like a lot of technology and dystopia to it, and people liked how unique that was and to normal rap at the time. And one day this guy was like, "Yo, you should rap over these Zelda dubstep remixes," and I was like, "Hey, I'm a big Zelda fan, so like why not?" I did not know that came with the whole nerdcore affiliation or anything like that. I had no idea that genre even existed at the time. I was like new to the internet almost. I was just like there to be for music, and that was it. And I wrote the whole rap over the Ocarina of Time remix, and I put it out on YouTube because like YouTube was popping off at the time. That was like the place to put your music on at the time. And I just recorded it on my little MacBook, like a webcam, and just this like
What you got?
really. Am I allowed to curse? Am I allowed to curse at all, or like I can refrain? As a rapper, it's very hard though. Okay, I'll keep it PG-13. I was rapping on this very, crappy mic that I had, and it was, super cheap at the time. It was like $100 mic, which is like absurd now. And I just recorded on a whim and like literally recorded myself on the MacBook, recording it in real time, and then I just uploaded to YouTube. And the original producer found it. Afixo was his name, and he thought it was so cool. He's like, bro, let me upload it on my channel too. And he had like, almost like 500,000 subscribers at the time from his Zelda remixes and all these other remixes he was doing. And he uploaded it, and then all these other like random YouTubers found it, and then they started sharing it. Like this random YouTubers named, they were like the Swedish version of Epic Mealtime. They were called Swedish Mealtime, but they were like way more testosterone filled, being Swedish and all. And they shared it, and they're like, "This is awesome!" And like and then everyone else started sharing it. It was so crazy. I was like featured on a bunch of these like nerd blogs, like nerdy blogs, like tech blogs and everything. Like stuff, they mostly just talked about like computer science. And they're like, "Hey, check out this Zelda rap." I was like, "What is going on here?" And so it just took off completely. And so I was like, "This is fun. I like this. This is kind of cool." And Afixo, the producer, was like, "Here, I'm gonna make a Song of Storms remix. You should rap over that too." I was like, "Heck yeah, let's do it." So we just kept doing it over and over and over again. And eventually all these other producers at the time, it was like, if there wasn't a dubstep remix to it, it didn't exist. So all these producers started remixing all these other video game themes and anime themes. Exactly. So like I got asked to rap over like a dubstep remix of the Street Fighter theme, a dubstep remix of the Kingdom Hearts theme. So like all these video game themes were being remixed, and I was the guy that was like rapping about the video game on top of a dubstep remix of it. It was just one after another, just snowballing it. Yeah, just boom, 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 because I kept getting more requests and more requests to do it. And it was only until I met my sister's ex-boyfriend, and I already knew of him, but while I was in college, he was like, "Yeah, so I heard you were like blowing up over these like Zelda raps and stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. I'm getting known for that." He's like, "I wouldn't want to be known for that." And I was like, "Wait a minute, why?" He's like, "Because that's super nerdy." And I was like, "It is? Oh my god, it is!" I was having this existential moment. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm a freaking nerd, dude. I didn't even realize it. I thought I was doing something really cool and, badass, right?" But not to the normies, like they didn't get it. They thought like rap was supposed to be like about like women and money and like, smoking and just like the cool stuff. But I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, I guess I'm a nerd, dude. I didn't even know it." And I was just like, I was just rapping about what I like any other rapper, like who doesn't? And then boom, apparently rapping about, Zelda was just a nerdy thing. And I was like, whatever, man, I like it, so I'm just gonna keep doing it. But yeah, it was just literally a happy accident. It's just like, imagine someone who just like, trying to get into the business field, but it's like, "Yeah, I really like Tekken. Tekken was really nice, and I'm gonna get into music, mix like normal music and stuff, and make my music what I like." And they're like, "But you really like Tekken or like Halo? You're really good at Halo back in the day." Like, "Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind making a song about Halo." And then boom, it just blows up, and it's like, "Okay, I guess I'm the Halo guy." Yeah, I guess I'm labeled as the Halo guy. But yeah, no, the Zelda was like my label for a while, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. So it was super, and I still do. Oh yeah, it changed my whole life. Like I thought I was going to be working in some, music business office or like for some like music festival or something like that. I was like in between music, I was like interning a lot. Every single summer I was interning. I was finishing my classes. I was studying for finals. So it was like a whole, career with trying to balance like normal life and everything. And I thought that was like, I was just going for my plan B. I didn't know whether or not music would work out at all because I didn't know how to make money off of it. Yeah, exactly. But by the time I graduated college, I was like, screw it. I got fired from my music job actually, so I was just doing such a terrible job, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna pursue music full time until it works, and that's what I did. I just stayed incredibly poor. I kept my expenses incredibly low. I stayed with my parents, my sister, my friends, my girlfriend at the time. Like I was just like moving around with my little studio, recording and making these really crappy videos on YouTube and just uploading them and just riding the wave. And then Boom, got it. I was also rapping about anime at the time, but it's just few and far between as opposed to like Zelda and like gaming stuff. And then slowly the anime wave just started riding too. Yeah.
What's this anime?
Exactly. So I just rode the same wave because I was already really into anime. I grew up watching anime, and I was like, yeah, it'd be really cool to make songs about Dragon Ball Z. You make songs about games, why not make songs about anime? So it was a natural transition, and then I think like I really went full force on the anime raps in like 2015, 2016, and I put out a whole album about Naruto, and that just like blew up and put me on the map. And all these anime conventions were like, dude, why don't you come perform at these anime cons? I had no idea those even existed. I didn't even know. That's how out of the like loop I was in terms of like nerdy stuff and conventions. I had no idea there was a whole event for things like that around the whole country. No idea. I was totally out of the loop. Again, I was just like studying religion and philosophy and economics during college. I wasn't like looking these things up. And I got invited to con after con after con, and I was seeing what was in my area, and I was like, oh, I'll come play. And like he said, like you should be able to like make money off of what you do, but when you first start out and nobody knows who you are, you're gonna have to do things for free. And that's what I was doing. Yep. You, exactly. Like you build up the clout, you start local, you start in your town, so you're not spending too much to be able to play and perform, and you just network, and then you show how good you are, and then eventually they'll want to pay you because you've built the clout, you've built the numbers, you've built the experience, you're more professional now. And I was definitely not professional at all first starting out, like at all. I was not a professional. I feel like I'm yapping about the first question still.
No, you actually answered all the questions.
Oh, okay, cool. We're just freestyling. We're just freeballing it, wrapping it up. That was only one question. Oh my goodness. That was just the history. I was gonna say, yeah. If you want to do one more question, sorry.
No, you answered all my questions already that I already asked him, and you already answered questions I was already gonna ask. But thank you so much, man. No. That's it. When they just pretty much are just going on, it's like, oh, I don't have to ask that one. I don't have to ask that one. Oh yeah.